Now, we've been talking about the weather this morning, haven't we? I think lots of people are calling me very pathetic for saying that it was scary this morning.
Well, no. There are one or two people saying you need to get a grip. But I said it was scary, first and foremost, because it really... I mean, driving through it, it really was.
Bearing in mind, we're driving in at about 3 o'clock in the morning, so we are the only people on the road.
It really was scary.
Yeah, it was.
It's all right for you sat at home, wherever you were.
Yeah.
You were
or having a night, or sleeping in your beds, because you may have been woken up to thunderstorms. It's all because yellow weather warnings remain in place across large parts of southern England today. But this all comes after the hottest day of the year so far.
Yeah, the Met Office said it could bring difficult driving conditions, yes, and some flooding. Yes.
Well, joining us now is weather journalist Nathan Rayo. Good to see you this morning, Nathan.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on out there?
It was quite scary. I was scared as well this morning when I left.
Oh, well, there you go. It's not just us.
No, and if you're waking up this morning, you are going to be waking to some bangs and clatters because, yes, we have thunderstorms across the south of the country. If you take sort of South Wales and the south of the Midlands all the way downwards, the southeast, the southwest, the West Country, Wales, Kent, Sussex, Essex, all of that area is under a yellow Met Office warning for thunderstorms this morning. The southeast up until 10 a.m. and the southwest up until 8 a.m. And there are some pretty lively eruptions going on. I was looking at the lightning trackers this morning. Around 540 lightning strikes an hour when I was heading in this morning. So it's going to be a very explosive morning up until about 10 o'clock as those thunderstorms roll in from Normandy in France on an area of low pressure.
And so they're going to last till about 10. How far up the country will it go? That
goes up until the South Midlands. So if you take the Midlands and go downwards, that is the risk area, southeast England, southwest England. The thing with thunderstorms is they're very difficult to pinpoint where exactly they're going to happen. So the Met Office warning this morning is a risk area. That doesn't mean that everywhere within that area is going to get them. As I said, these are not homegrown thunderstorms. If you think during the summer months when we get very hot weather, we get an eruption of thunderstorms as hot air rises. These thunderstorms are being brought in from the continent where there is a big area of low pressure and a warm front which is coming into the country. If you've noticed over the last couple of days it's got very warm. That's what's bringing in the thunderstorms.
Well, it's a very different picture, isn't it, across the country?
Oh, yeah. Now, here you go. Sasha says, forecast may be bad where you are, but in Cheshire we've got wall-to-wall sunshine and no rain today.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
And to the north, if you are north of the area I've just mentioned, you're going to be wondering, what on earth are they talking about? Because they're going to get much drier, calmer, bright weather.
It's always better in the north.
It is, and the northwest Scotland going through the next couple of days, they're going to get the sunshine as this area of unsettled weather moves across the rest of the country. But saying that, we were talking a couple of days ago when I was in about how it was freezing cold and it was going to get warmer. It is now going to get much warmer. And if you've noticed over the last couple of days, it's been feeling muggy warm. That is warmth coming in from the continent and bringing instability.
I wondered about that because it was muggy. But it's that muggy water, because often when it's muggy, you get thunderstorms afterwards.
There are two real types of triggers for thunderstorms. In the summer, we get thunderstorms because the sun is beating on the ground and that causes air to rise, and rising warm air is always going to cause instability. Or we can get what we're getting now, and this is a warm front coming in from the continent, a big area of low pressure over the Mediterranean. A warm front is really another word for an area of warm air coming into the country. And when you get warm air coming into a country which has had cold air over it, that warm air rises, and whenever you get rising warm air, you get eruptions, and that's what we're getting. So these are sort of like thunderstorms and instability coming in from the continent. Up until around 10 a.m. this morning, the worst of it should be over. As I said, in the south, if you're further north, you can ignore everything we're saying because you won't be getting any of it. But up until 10 a.m. and then going forward, there might be some more eruptions this evening because we're in an instability at the moment. But getting better. It is getting better.
And we could see up to 22 degrees this week.
Yes, we could. And that is, again, because of this low pressure to the south bringing in warm air. And towards the end of the week, we're going to get higher pressure. Now, when we're at this time of the year, higher pressure, whenever you hear forecasters talking about higher pressure in summer, that means clearer skies and sunshine. The warm weather we're getting at the moment, as you will have noticed, and as I mentioned, is a muggy, cloudy sort of warm weather. We're going into higher pressure, which could be sunnier. But as a point of interest, I wanted to ask you both, if you have enjoyed the warmest April since 2020.
No, it's very wet.
It has actually been the warmest April since 2020, since the lockdown, hot weather April. Can you believe that?
No. Why doesn't it feel like that? Is it because it's been quite windy? Is that the issue?
There's a couple of reasons, and the Met Office have explained this very well. The first half of April was actually unusually warm. We got 21.8, I think, during the first half of April, and that pushed the averages up. The second half of April, which is actually quite rare to have a second half of April cold, but the second half of April was cold, but the average was nevertheless quite warm. The second thing is it's been very dull. It's been one of the dullest Aprils for about 25 years. And the dull weather means cloud, and cloud keeps warmth over the country. So if you've got cloudy nights, the warmth doesn't radiate off into outer space. And so therefore the overall average temperatures for the month are actually coming in a bit higher than average, even though it feels like we've just come out of an Arctic start to spring. So it's very, very weird. The other thing to point out is because we're getting used to warmer springs, which are quite unusual. The last warm springs we've had over the past few years have been unusual. When we get an average spring, average April like we've had now, it feels worse than it actually is. But no, 0.4 degrees C's above average, the warmest April for 4 years.
You would never believe it, would you?
You never, ever would.
Well, long may it continue. Oh, that's probably not a PC thing to say, is it?
I think you can
Warmer weather.
Well,
But, I want a warm summer, that's for sure. Nathan Rao, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Lovely Melanie Davis says it's a beautiful sunny morning here in Southport. May I have breakfast outside today?
Oh, can we come and join you, please? It's horrible here.
Wouldn't that be lovely?